One of the experiences I enjoy about carp fishing is my trips to France. Searching out monster carp that we ordinarily wouldn't catch in the UK. One such trip sticks out in my memory, and I'm going to take you back to August 2012 and an adventure to Moorlands Fishery in France. This is my favourite carp angling memory. Any carp fishing trip to France is exciting, especially all the build up as well, where you can do your homework, go on YouTube and find out all the information you can on the venue that you're going to fish. So with all that information to hand from all the videos you've watched and by chatting to your mates, you know that when you get there you're going to be sorted and you can target the carp in the right way. So we arrived at the lake in Burgundy, France, full of anticipation, and after a walk round with all the lads I actually got the swim I wanted. I used a swim called the Pampas, and after looking, having a good look around the lake, I actually found some fish bubbling and head and shouldering in front of the Pampas swim. So when the draw was made, everyone decided what swims they wanted, and I got the one I wanted. So after a little lead around in front of the Pampas swim, I found it to be very choddy and silty. So I had to decide my tactics from there really. So with this in mind and the rule stipulating that you must use a running rig, I went in with 1.5 ounces to combat the silty and choddy bottom, and also a combi rig with a Snowman double bait as a hook bait. So I dispatched 3 rods to 3 different spots, slightly harder spots in front of the swim. I didn't want to go too mad with bait either. Obviously I'd just turned up and I didn't know how much bait the angler before me had put in. So I just aimed for those 3 spots that they were bubbling, found they were harder spots, and then just with a catapult, a few pouchfuls of boilies out. I didn't want to kill the swim before I'd even started with loads of bait. So a few pouchfuls over each of the rods, and I'd start off with that tactic. So the first night ended really well when I had 2 carp, a 29-pound mirror and a 33-pound common. I was over the moon, to be honest, to get off the mark that quickly. They were from 2 different spots as well. The fish fought really hard in the shallow water as well, trying to bury themselves down in the silt. So I was well pleased with the start of the fishing. The footage of these fish is unfortunately very grainy. We didn't have the camera equipment or the lighting that we've got today. And then it all went quiet for me. No more bites through Sunday and Monday. To be fair, I should have moved, as my mate Lee had a couple up the other end of the lake in the southern arm, including a 40-pound mirror. I guess I was hoping for the carp to move back on me. So on Monday, I made the decision to up sticks and move down to Snag Bay in the southern arm. So the Snag Bay swim was very, very weedy, but it had lovely overhangs on the far bank. And after dispatching a couple of leads out there, I found it to be quite hard. So it's obvious that the carp had been feeding on it. Baiting wise, I didn't want to go too mad again because I knew the fish were there because you could see the bubbles coming up. So I just got my throwing stick out and just dotted a few boilies along that far margin, just hoping that the carp would come along, pick a boilie up here and there and not suspect anything. What happened that night was the carp angling night of my life up to that point. It all went crazy. First of all, 42-pound 8-ounce mirror, which to that point was a new PB for me. As you can see from the footage, I was chuffed to bits, but that fish was so hard to hold because of its huge frame.
And here we have Paul with what could possibly be a 40.
You can count the numbers on it. We'll lift it. You watch it go round to 40 something.
Oh, please God.
Easily, mate, all day long. All day long.
That's 42 and a half.
Oh, it's the PB then.
Well done, mate. Well done.
That's the one. That's better.
There we go. Yeah, that's it. You're just in camera shot, Lily.
I need to get a good photo. I'm not really too worried about that one for the moment. Alright. Oh,
I can't bleed. I can't pull up anymore. Yeah?
Yep. I've got the full length. That's a bit wrong that there. I've got the full length.
Right, she can go now, can't she?
Go back, mate.
It's all on video, isn't it, Dave?
Certainly is, mate. You want to say a few words?
42.8, new PB. Fucking have it. After returning the mirror, I cast the rod back to the spot, and blow me, it was away again. This time a PB common, 41 pound, a fish known as Nelson. What a night. I couldn't believe it. 2 PBs in 2 casts on the same night. A mirror and a common. Stuff of dreams.
Well, it's now somewhere around, what, 3:30? 4:44?
Actually.
Paul's wrestling himself a little.
41 common. 41 ounces. New PB common. Straight on.
Stay there, I'll get the top.
Struggling.
1 second, 1 second. Keep going. Go on, hold it. Go. Get it in there. Sit.
That's awesome, isn't it? It's 40s in a night. Cooking on gas.
In the southern arm.
Southern Arm, Snag Bay. A good few cups of tea were consumed that night to celebrate, and we went back to sleep, and it went all quiet. And when I awoke, the swim seemed devoid of fish. It had gone very, very quiet. It was time to have a look around and see what else I could find. After breakfast, I went for a walk around the lake and found some carp showing in front of my original first swim. So I packed up, moved back down the lake and set up again in Pampas. The tactics were the same, a few pouchfuls of boilies and a light scattering with the throwing stick. The heat of the day remained fishless. It was too hot really for the fish to feed. So after dinner, got back to my swim and I found a few fish bubbling again, but this time in a different spot, only about 20 yards in front of me, right next to a weed bed. So I cast beyond the spot, reeled the lead in across the surface of the water and then dropped it directly on the bubblers. It didn't take long for it to go. Full take, went absolutely mental. What a battle it was. This fish hugged the bottom and tried to get into the weed bed that it was feeding next to. It felt a better fish. Luckily, as I was bringing the fish in, the weed went round its face and round its eyes, and they tend not to fight when this happens. So I gently coaxed the fish into the net, looked down, and it was huge. It was absolutely enormous.
Right, it's about quarter past 9, give or take. Scrap the PB we had yesterday. New PB, 45 mirror. I thought we'd film this because he's about to get a slap round the chops and it's going to be a laugh.
Come on, camera. Take it. That's it, Paul. Stay there. Come on, camera. That's it. Can you hold it? 10 more seconds, Paul. 10 more seconds. That's it.
Do another one quick.
Come on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Done?
Yep.
You rolling?
Always rolling, mate. Rolling in case you do anything stupid, don't want to miss it.
All in. That's one of them.
All in, that'd be hilarious. This is new PB, 45 pounds.
Keep it there. She needs to.
Trust them, much persuading.
He's proper on the salt. Look.
Wednesday morning, I was awoken by Lee, who was fishing next door, shouting for help as he was attached to a bit of a lump. Safely landed, and it was another PB for Lee, this time at 43 pound 14 ounces. Our mate Dave was catching a few also. The banter and the laughs we had on our bank was unforgettable. Making memories is a huge part of fishing holidays. It's not all about catching carp, although that certainly helps. The rest of the day and the night was quiet again, and it had become apparent that the fish had moved back down the southern arm. So with all the fish down the southern arm again, we moved. Yet again, didn't half keep us fit all this moving around the lake. But we wanted to, we wanted to maximise the potential of catching the carp. We didn't want to sit around waiting for the carp to come to us, so we went to them. So Lee went into the boneyard, which was in the mouth of the southern arm, and I carried on a little bit further down into a swim called the Stumps. During Thursday, Lee had a screaming take, and we instantly knew that he was into something special. Unfortunately, the carp was well and truly weeded up. Our mate Dave went wading to try and free the fish, but the fish was lost, much to Lee's and our disappointment. But moments later, Lee made up for it with a new PB of 45 pound 4 ounce. So back in my swim, the Stumps, I was fishing towards the far margins. 2 rods dispatched out there, again over a scattering of boilies with a throwing stick, and then 1 rod slightly to the right next to a weed bed, about halfway out, where I'd noticed the fish bubbling. However, the rest of that day remained fishless for me, but I knew the fish were there, so I sat tight this time. So Friday dawned and it was a fishless night, but I still felt very, very confident. There were fish all over me, bubbling, showing, head and shoulders. I knew they were feeding carp. So I decided to give them a little bit more bait because I wanted A, to hold them there, and B, I really, really needed a fish because I'd had a couple of fishless days. So I sat tight and waited, and what happened next was legendary. By mid-morning on Friday, the feeding in my swim was absolutely incredible. Bubbling, fizzing, fish head and shouldering. It was only a matter of time, and then my right hand rod screamed off. Unfortunately, I was in the swim next door with Lee, which is only like 15 yards away, and I could hear Adelkin screaming. So off I went, running down the bank, 15 yards. Unfortunately, it had drizzled the night before, so it was a little bit slippery. As I got to my rods, I stacked it, bailed straight into my pod, rods everywhere, and the rod that was still screaming off was flying through the air. How I managed it, I don't know, but I managed to grab the rod with the fish still attached. A battle ensued. Unfortunately, it went straight in a weed bed, which is my own stupid fault for being off my rods. Anyway, I managed to play the fish in with the weed around its head, which was really a bit of good fortune, to be honest, because it was a huge fish for me and it just didn't want to fight. It was just a heavy, heavy lump on the end. I could see it was huge and I was mighty relieved to see it go in the net.
Here we go. Here we have Paul on the Friday morning with his first fish for about 48 hours. Just ripped off while we were sitting having a chat, reminiscing.
Fishing.
Fishing. Oh, it's in a weed bed. Not good onions. Let's get you some footage. Mustard.
Flying over, knocked my pod over.
Muddle over his hand.
Shit.
Look at his hand. Look at the state of it. That when you deck it.
Did you actually?
Look.
Proper stacked it.
He proper stacked it. Took his old pod out. Both rods.
Whoops.
Oh, whoops. Oh, you.
It looks like you've wiped your ass with your hand.
It's come in with a big ball of weed over it.
Oh dear.
Can you see the spreader block there?
Yeah, that's alright. Here she is. That's it. Straight over. Lift her up. She's all yours. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, David.
Oh!
I would shake your hand.
Oh. Oh.
Right, we'll show you her on the bank in a minute.
Right, here she is. She's going to 0, and it is going to come out at
51.3.
51.3. Paul's new PB, sitting on the tripod, confirmed, as accurate as you're going to get.
£51.
Well done, mate. That's the one we're waiting for.
51.
That's the one we're waiting for. Good angling, man. Straight up the arm again for another session.
A new PB, £51 3 ounce, and I was buzzing my tits off.
That's it. I can't see that you got it away.
I've got Keith's arm in that.
Come the other side.
Do I have my glasses on? Look.
Oh, Christ,
Straight in the bad eye.
Right, he's ready, he's ready. You have to crop Keith's arm out of that one. That's all right, mate, you're there.
Hurry up quick.
Can't. Push the wrong button.
Come on. Ivy.
No, she's not.
Yeah, come on. Ain't gonna hold her that much.
No more, I can't.
You can!
Busting the blood vessel here.
Don't worry, piles only last once.
I was so pleased to have the footage of it all and to share that moment with friends. It's what fishing is all about. I stripped down to my pants to do some water shots, and then all of a sudden my other rod was away. This time from the rod on the far margins.
Right, here we've got Paul
In my pants.
in his pants. Right, sorry, I'll rephrase that, I'll start again. Here we've got Paul in his lucky pants. Next door he's got Mikey holding what we think is benign in the sling. And also, or Chunky, and his other rod's now ripped off.
Scottish Dave.
Scottish Dave from Wales.
Belgian Dave.
Smoreland.
No, it ain't too bad, mate. Got a long line of scales.
Who do you want to net her?
It's a big royal, I can. That ain't too sad either, mate.
Thank you.
Netted. Get in. Right, let's see what this one is on the bank.
30 plus.
Another £30 was my reward. What a mad 5 minutes.
Hide these out and now I'm getting all wet.
Stupid.
What a check.
Yeah.
Look at the fish, look at the fish.
Nah, do.
He wanted to just want to get out of his hand, didn't he?
Oh, look at this. It's only a little one. It's only
It's only
31.
£30. Is it 31.12, wasn't it?
If only those all that behaved when you had them there like that.
Yeah. In fairness, most of them are when you put them in the water, once they feel comfortable.
Happy? Sure?
Yeah. Get off.
Au revoir.
Thank you.
Number one. Oh dear. God, that's a big fish.
I think it's about 50.
Hippo. Quite a big one.
Terrified to let go, but that's why I can't blame him. Oh, that's cracking bit of video, that is.
Oh, she sends a bit of freedom there.
She's nearly had enough, hasn't she?
Yeah. Everyone happy, yeah?
Yeah, mate.
Because I certainly am.
Good man.
Thank you.
Lovely job.
Have it.
Well done, mate.
Paul.
Top draw.
Lucky pants.
Lucky pants, do it again.
How you feeling now then, bud?
Wet.
Nice one, Paul. Go out quick.
Blinded.
Well done, mate.
Many beers were consumed and the afternoon passed with high spirits, and I just enjoyed the last day of my holiday. I put the rods back out that evening and managed another mid-30 to finish what was a great week's fishing, and one I will never forget. Wonderful fishing with great company in tranquil surroundings, making memories. It's what carp fishing is all about.
Flipping out what? Like all week for a common and it comes now.
You've got 15 minutes before we're about to pack up.
Fish.
Catching fish.
There she is, look. You wanted a comment. Last ditch attempt. Thanks for waking me up, you bellend.
Please subscribe to Carp TV and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of our future content. Thanks for watching and enjoy your angling.